Hey everybody, welcome back to Lemon Branch DIY. Today we are changing the cabin filter and the air filter on my 2020 GMC Sierra Denali. And it not only works for the GMC, but also all the Silverados, basically any GM truck. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so this is a very simple project, but some people get a little bit overwhelmed, and it's definitely not something that you need to overcomplicate. Basically, every 15 to 20,000 miles, you need to change out your air filter. So the air filter can have a big effect on your engine and the engine performance. So you want to make sure that it stays clean. So I had my truck in the shop getting some work done on it, and of course they looked, and at the air filter, they did kind of a multi-point inspection. Now they said, you got to replace your filters. Well, we can do it for you for like 150 bucks. Well, 150 bucks is ridiculous for an air filter, because you can go and get an actual OEM air filter made by AC Delco, and you can pick them up online anywhere from $30 to $35, $36 online. They're very inexpensive, and there's no way I was going to pay them $125 to do what we can do in literally 5 minutes or less. So there's several different kinds of air filters that you can get. You can pick up some aftermarket, or you can get the OEM. I'm saving a little bit of money today by buying this STP. This STP, it's the exact fit that you need. It's a really good filter. You might get a little bit more life out of the OEM or the AC Delco, but we're only talking about 5,000 miles-ish. But the difference in price, this was $21 at AutoZone, where it's $37, $38 at AutoZone for the AC Delco. So in that savings, I'm more than gonna make up for the mileage, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna put in the STP. It's gonna be just fine. It's a great filter, and I'm also gonna use the STP. That one's only a $10 cabin filter. So how do we get to the air filter inside the truck engine? So pop the hood, and you're gonna always look for this type of hose, these, this kind of airflow here. Well, the air filter is actually underneath this guy here. There's 3 screws. The first one is just over here. Now, what's interesting about these screws, you'll notice that it's either a Phillips head, so you can use a regular screwdriver, or it's an 8mm socket, so you can get to it either way. I like just getting my screwdriver because I don't have to do then I don't have to get the socket set out. But this is just a plastic screw, and it's super easy to just unscrew with the screwdriver. Plus, if you have a screwdriver, you have the long shaft that can reach down in there and get it. Now, the only trick to this is when you go to undo it, make sure that you do not do it too far, because you don't want to lose the screws down into the engine. So I'll go that far, and then I'll just reach down here with my hand, screw the rest of it out with my fingers, and then I'm just gonna hold on to this and put it aside so we don't lose the screw. So this is the first screw. Then in back right here, you'll see there's a second screw. So we'll go ahead and just unscrew that guy. Like I said, I'm not gonna go all the way with it because I don't want to drop the screw down inside the engine. So we'll go about that far. I'm gonna grab it with my fingers and just do the rest of it with my fingers. Okay, so the third and final screw, so we've got one up here, one over here, and the third and final screw is on the back side here. There's just the 3. All right, so now when we go to pull it off, you're gonna notice that there's actually 3 little, I'm gonna point to it with a screwdriver. So there's a little tab here, a tab here in the middle, and a tab over here. Those need to slide out in order to pull this thing up. So the easiest way to do, and we're gonna need to put those back in when we go to put it back in. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up on the back and slide it just like that, if that makes sense. So I'll show you what I did. I'm just lifting up back here, and I'm sliding it, and that exposes the air filter. And we'll just put this up and over to the side. So now that exposes this air filter, and we're just gonna pull this guy out. And we're gonna flip it over, and you can see that there's a little bit of dirt and grime and junk in here. All right, so this kind of shows you the difference in the coloring of the air filters. You see that this one's pretty dirty. It's got a bunch of grime and junk in it. whereas this one is all brand new, fancy and white. Move that off to the side, and then this one will go right back in the exact same way. You just pop that right back in the hole, and that's all you need to do to put the air filter in. It's really super easy. You just slide it right in. So I'm just going to lift it up and then slide those guys right back in, just like that. You see them pop right back in. Now the screws are lined up again. We'll just put the screws back in. All right, so we're just going to reverse the process. Here's the screws. Now, like I said, it can either be an 8mm socket, but you need an extension arm to be able to reach everything. I personally like just using my screwdriver because then I don't need to mess with that. And since it's a Phillips screw, we're able to just go right back in and just screw that right back down. All right, so there's the one. So super easy. Got a brand new filter in there. And when you go to tighten these up, you don't need to over tighten them because it's just a plastic housing. And so we don't want to overdo it and we don't want to break it. So you just kind of get them tight. You'll know what I'm talking about. You just do it, you know, just nice and firm, just not over tighten it. All right, so that is a $21 filter, and that just saved us over $100 just by doing that. 3 screws, 3 minutes, over $100 savings. Now let's work on the cabin filter on the inside of the truck. Okay, now we're gonna move inside to the cabin filter. Now the cabin filter is a little bit more challenging in comparison to just doing the air filter. That was only 3 screws. It's easy to get to, it's exposed at the top of the engine. The cabin filter is actually inside the truck. It's behind the glove box here in the truck. Now, it's very easy to look up what part number you actually need, depending on where you're buying it, whether it's Walmart, AutoZone, it doesn't matter where you get it from. There is a lot of different stores to get it from, but you just put in the make, model, and number, and it'll spit out the number for you. So the cabin filter is located on the passenger side and behind the glove box. So this bottom glove box we have to open. Now you'll notice it's just the glove box, right? Well, we have to remove the glove box in order to see the filter. So there's a couple steps that we need to take in order to remove the glove box. So the first thing is once you open it, it's going to expose down here on this side. You're gonna see this little latch right here. So this guy right here is just a little pin. You just take your thumb and slide it to the side, and you'll see that pop that out of that little groove. So that's the first step, very simple. Then the next step is these little tabs. You just take on each side of the glove box, you just pull them or push them in, and then the glove box will come out. Now, interesting that these little guys are just on a hinge, but they're removable. You'll just see that they just kind of come right off. Now that the glove box is off, we're going to take a look up inside. This right here is the door to the filter. So this plastic piece here just needs to be removed. And so you'll see there's a clip on this side. You'll see 2 tabs that are in the middle. That's what holds it on in the middle. And then there's a little slide over on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to just reach your finger up on the left side, and you're just going to pull it out just like that. That just popped the clip right off, and then this whole thing will come out, exposing the filter. Okay, so then what we can do is just reach in, grab the filter on the side here, and the whole thing just slides right out. So you can see that this cabin filter, when the mechanic was looking at it, he spread it all apart for me, and you can see how gross this is. This one is really, really dirty. So let's get the new one out. Okay, so you can see a huge difference between the cabin filters. So you can see how gross that old one is, and then how pretty and white the new one is. Now, the only trick of putting the new one in is if you look at the edge of the filter, what you want to make sure is the airflow is going to be shown with the arrows. So you want to make sure that the arrows are pointing down when we slide it back up into the slot. And then it doesn't matter which side the print goes on. As long as the arrows are pointing down, we'll be able to slide it right back up and in. All right, so the easiest way to put the door on is I just put it, see how it's just a little off to the left? You'll see that those tabs are right there. They just need to line up. So I'm just using my fingers in the middle. I'm pushing in, and then you just slide a little bit. So you push in, slide a little bit to the right, and then over on this side, you just push it back in, and it just kind of all happens at the same time. So this is all nice, snug back in there. The clip is back in. That over there is on the, it's clipped in as well. Okay, so now we just have to put the actual glove box back up into the hole. So we're just going to reverse the process. Remember, these ones just have, they're open on one side, so we can just pull it up here, get them hooked up on the hinge just like that, and then I'm just going to put it back up. Now these tabs here, if you just push on it, it'll automatically go into place. So now the glove box is inside the hole. We just have to come back and reattach over here. We've got to reattach this guy. Okay, so now all we've got to do is, you'll notice that when we open the glove box, it just falls. So that's what this little guy is over on this side. It's just like a little, it slows it down. So what you're going to find is it's retracted back up and in. So this guy here, it retracts. And so I just grab my finger in the little hole and I just pull it back down. And then we're just going to line it back up over on this side here. You're going to find that little tab right there. Just put it kind of up and into the spot, just like that. Now I'm just going to slide it in with my finger, just like that. Super easy. Now the glove box is in the right place, and it opens slowly now. All right, so that's all there is to it. That's maybe a 10-minute fix. If you haven't done it before, just tinker around with it. You can't really mess anything up. It's totally easy to do. But that just saved me quite a bit of money. $21 for the one, $30 for the other. So we're talking $33 with tax, $35 with tax. And that took me less than 10 minutes to do. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It really does help our channel out a bunch. And think about subscribing, because we have all kinds of do-it-yourself projects, whether it's in the yard, home projects, or something in the garage. It does not matter. We tackle all of it. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you on the next video.